I met a gypsy.
And then the rest sort of peter out. But definitely Pastrana was on my team in 99, I think it was. And like I could see that he was coming up, right? But I think James was after Pastrana, wasn't he?
Yeah. What was it like working with Travis?
So I personally didn't work with him. He was like the kid coming up, and it was a bit of a circus. You know, his parents thought he was like God's gift to mankind. I always liked Travis. He was a sweet kid. Yeah, like it was a bit of a talk about the entourage and, you know, the chaos that came with it. Yeah.
So yeah, when you were saying like the man friend thing was just coming in, man friend's probably the wrong word,
Yeah.
but like there's an entourage. It's like it's a whole thing. It's not just
a whole thing.
a
like,
guy pulling up
yeah.
in a truck to work and clocking in, riding the bike. And
We got the
clocking out.
production team coming in, you know. Yeah.
Was that weird?
I don't think it was weird. I mean, I just personally, I hated that side of it, right? And, you know, I could kind of see through a lot of that stuff. Yeah, I mean, again, it's it's a part of the sport that I never enjoyed or liked. Like, and you see it, especially at the supercrosses, everybody comes out the woodwork, like all the cockroaches, and oh, that's my guy, you know. And it's like, but yeah, I mean, you know, he was an amazing. I mean, what a phenomenon, right? But everybody loves to jump on a train that's moving already, right? Because it's like this is going somewhere. This is going to be our ticket, our golden ticket.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a real thing.
Yeah.
And what about like, I guess what balance or how much less did McGrath have of that?
I would say he had a lot less of that. I mean, again, he was Jeremy was very smart. I mean, not that Pastrana and them weren't, right? Travis was just a kid.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But I think Jeremy was smart and strategic in who he surrounded himself with. And that they all had a business purpose, right? It was less of the groupies and stuff like that. I mean, sure, he'd go have fun with the groupies after the race, but you know, at the race, he was very focused and stuff.
Yeah, because there's definitely that change that you lived through the whole change of that. Travis is probably a great example.
Yeah.
Of, you know, like right as you retired, that's when like almost the circus came to town.
Yeah.
And you kind of need that in a sport, really. Like, I mean, whether it's good or bad, but it obviously shows that it's like it's doing something. There's moving and shaking and a bit like.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like, don't forget freestyle, you know, was just getting going, right? People ask me, oh, did you used to do the freestyle? I'm like, no, it wasn't really a thing. By the time I was retiring, freestyle was only just getting going. So, you know, and he was one of the first guys that sort of merged the two, right? And all of a sudden he's backflipping into the Bay in San Francisco, but he's also winning races. Like he was sort of that, I keep touching this thing. He sort of merged the two together and it was like he was this phenomenon, right? So, yeah, I mean, obviously with that, and I didn't despise it because in a way it like elevates our sport, right? He's all of a sudden on ESPN, you know, mainstream TV, and now it's our sport. Hey, motocross.
Yeah. So what was the best bike you ever rode of all the bikes?
93 Honda 250.
Yeah. What was it about it?
Well, I mean, it handled phenomenally. The motor on the one Jan de Groot tuned for me was amazing. I mean, that thing screamed. I can't even remember how many RPM that thing would rev to, but great power, usable, just everything about it was phenomenal.
And good suspension, like it was modern.
I mean, yeah, we had pretty much kit suspension, Showa kit suspension, but it was good enough for winning or dominating a world championship.
So, do you ever ride now? Do you miss riding?
I do. I do still ride. Suzuki is still kind enough to give me a bike. How cool
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Cool. That's really cool. So I appreciate that very much. So yeah, I do. My boys are into it a little bit. So
right.
25, I'm going to get into it more.
What's the schedule like? What kind of rider are you these days?
I'm still a track guy.
Yeah,
I
so
like the track.
Get out, do some motos.
Yeah, 5-lap motos.
yeah.
Normally it takes a couple, and then once you're into it, it's like I can put a good 25 minutes in or whatever. Yeah, but like when I was going to do a vet championship race about 4 or 5 years ago, and I ended up tearing my rotator cuff, and I didn't. But I'm so thankful I didn't because I went and watched those guys. I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are flying.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.